air superiority over Iran within 48 hours is a case worth studying, whether you're an enemy or an ally. In contrast, Russia has struggled for air superiority in Ukraine for 3 years, and the United States failed to establish air dominance despite spending over $1 billion against the Houthi militants in Yemen. They converted this Gulf Stream into an $800 million surveillance jet to identify targets from hundreds of miles away, sending real-time data directly to the F-35 and F-15 aircraft. The main objective is to take out the missile launchers, creating a bottleneck. Without those launchers, Iran's stockpiles of missiles can't be fired, effectively cutting off their offensive capability at the source. However, Iran should not be underestimated. The country possesses tens of thousands of ballistic missiles, many of which are highly mobile and capable of launching from both underground and surface positions. Iran can reportedly produce up to 300 ballistic missiles per month, posing a serious threat if Israeli airstrikes fail to neutralize them effectively. More details all in the video ahead. How Israel, Russia, and the US compare in achieving air superiority. As stated, Israel achieved air superiority over Iran, while Russia is still struggling to control Ukraine since the start of the war, while the United States has struggled to do the same against the Houthi in Yemen. These differences are rooted in varying strategies, operational environments, the resilience of each adversary, and how well intelligence and technology are integrated into military operations. Israel conquered the sky over western Iran using its military doctrine, traditionally emphasizing rapid, decisive, and preemptive strikes to ensure national survival. F-35s and precision-guided munition hit Iranian air defenses, missile launchers, and command centers. In contrast, Russia holds air superiority over its own territory in certain frontline areas in Ukraine, but it lacks full dominance across the broader battle space. The Russian Air Force VKS follows a doctrine that treats aircraft primarily as flying artillery, focusing on direct support for ground forces rather than establishing air supremacy. Interestingly, the US has also failed to achieve air superiority over the Houthi, an Iranian-aligned militant group in Yemen. Despite advanced capabilities, the unique challenges of Yemen's terrain, the asymmetric tactics of the Houthi, and limited strategic objectives have hindered the US in fully dominating the airspace. The United States spent over $1 billion on munitions in the first month of its campaign. War plans and strategies between the US and the Houthi are vastly different. While the US relies on air superiority and naval power to launch powerful strikes against rebel groups, the Houthi take a different approach. Their strategy revolves around mobility, using a shoot-and-scoot tactic that allows them to fire and quickly relocate before they can be targeted. Rather than depending on fixed launch sites which are easy to destroy, they spread their ammunition across rugged terrain, making it nearly impossible to eliminate all of their stockpiles. This tactic gives them an advantage in sustaining their operations despite continuous attacks. The campaign was hindered by poor internal coordination, an over-reliance on air power, and a reluctance to escalate, either through ground operations or deeper cooperation with regional partners. Let's take a closer look at how Israel managed to establish rapid air superiority over Iran. The operation began with Israel deploying its most advanced F-35 stealth aircraft, specially modified for intelligence gathering. These jets penetrated deep into Iranian airspace, targeting critical radar installations and surface-to-air missile batteries. This initial wave of precision strikes effectively blinded and crippled Iran's air defense network, especially in western Iran and over Tehran. Once the initial defenses were neutralized, Israel followed up with F-15 fighter bombers and F-16s, using less expensive precision-guided munitions like JDAMs to sustain the pressure and expand the damage. Let's take a look at how they picked their targets. At the core of the strategy was the Alr surveillance aircraft, which played a pivotal role in identifying and tracking targets. Outfitted with advanced AI-driven sensors, the Alr could scan vast areas of terrain in real time, even at night or in poor weather conditions. Operating from a safe distance, up to 200 miles away and well out of reach of enemy fire, it was able to detect and track mobile missile launchers and storage sites with exceptional precision. The intelligence it gathered wasn't kept in isolation. Instead, it was streamed directly to F-35I fighter jets and command centers, allowing for a rapid and coordinated response. This seamless integration of data meant Israeli forces could strike mobile launchers before they had a chance to relocate, significantly increasing the success rate of each mission. Rather than simply focusing on depleting Iran's missile stockpiles, Israel chose to target the launchers themselves. This calculated shift created a critical bottleneck in Iran's ballistic missile capability. After all, even if you have hundreds of missiles in storage, they're useless if you don't have launchers to fire them. Israel also employed another tactic, one that involved deception. They deployed decoy aircraft drones, designed to provoke a response from Iranian air defenses. When the Iranians launched Baver missiles at these decoys, the Lran aircraft would immediately pick up the activation and movement of those defense systems. This allowed fighter jets to track and engage the real targets as they revealed themselves during the response. On June 16, 2025, an Israeli drone carried out a precise strike on a Tehran airbase, destroying several Iranian F-14 Tomcat fighter jets just moments before they were scheduled to take off. This preemptive attack effectively grounded the aircraft, preventing their deployment and removing a key piece of Iran's aerial defense capability. These F-14s, acquired by Iran before the 1979 revolution, remain among the most advanced fighter jets in Tehran's arsenal. Just 2 days later, on June 18, Israeli fighter jets targeted the Kermanshah airbase in western Iran, destroying 5 A-1 Cobra attack helicopters. The operation continued with a series of follow-up raids carried out by F-35s and S-16s on other key airbases, including one in Mashhad, over 1,400 miles from Israeli territory. These raids went beyond targeting aircraft, also destroying critical infrastructure such as hangars, runways, and maintenance facilities, further degrading Iran's ability to launch or support air operations. But let's look at its weapon system that helped it reach air superiority. The air-to-surface missiles are located at Ramat David Air Base in the north of Israel near Haifa, and the second one is the Rauman Air Base in the south of the Negev Desert, although the specific number was not mentioned. For round-the-clock bombardment, they rely on this KC-707 tankers, which allow their fighter jets to stay in the air for extended periods. This gives them the ability to loiter in the skies for hours, searching for and striking targets without needing to return to base. There is also a G550 Gulfstream AWACS, which stands for Airborne Warning and Control System. For targeting difficult targets like anti-air defense launchers, they use these ROX missile systems. They can be launched from an F-15, F-16, or F-35 aircraft. The ROX is an air-to-surface missile developed by Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, capable of engaging both stationary and mobile targets, even in GPS-denied environments. Rather than requiring jets to travel deep into Iran's territory, the missiles can be deployed close to enemy positions. This is the Golden Horizon and is reportedly the codename for the Israeli Blue Sparrow missile system, specifically when deployed as an air-launched ballistic missile. It's believed to have a long range, approximately 2,000 kilometers, which is about 1,240 miles, making it a significant strategic asset to reach every part of Iran. This is how the Israeli Air Force flew towards the Iranian targets for a staggering 1,000 miles. Although these routes may seem straightforward, they involve complex planning, including calculations for air refueling and coordinating attack aircraft to pass through Jordan, Syria, and Iraq. They also neutralized potential air defense threats in Syria and Iraq to ensure a safe return in case they were targeted. Israel's strategy was to attack Iran in 3 waves. The first wave targeted surface air-to-air sites, radar installations, and Iran's air defense headquarters in Tehran, Elam, and Khuzestan. The second wave focused on destroying ballistic missiles, and finally, the third wave targeted military manufacturing industries. Despite Israeli air superiority, Iran continues to fire missiles at Israel. This resilience is largely due to Iran's status as one of the most powerful military forces in the Middle East. Over the years, Iran has developed a missile doctrine centered on dispersal and survivability. Its launchers are often mobile, concealed, or housed in hardened facilities, making it extremely difficult for Israeli strikes to neutralize all launch capabilities quickly. This built-in redundancy ensures that even after heavy bombardment, some missile systems remain operational. Prior to the latest conflict, Iran was believed to possess one of the largest ballistic missile arsenals in the region, with estimates ranging from 2,000 to over 3,000 missiles capable of reaching Israeli territory. Even after launching hundreds of missiles and suffering significant damage to its launch infrastructure, Iran is still thought to retain a substantial stockpile, possibly between 300 and 1,300 medium-range ballistic missiles, posing an ongoing threat to Israeli security. A single ballistic missile warhead has the potential to destroy an entire city block, as we've seen in past strikes on Tel Aviv. We also make original